Jill Davis, Park.
Nick Vanderpool, Bradford.
Lynn Vanderpool, Bradford.
Eric Heinrich, Wayne Henry.
Carol Coffey, Park.
Savannah West Park.
Luke Wortenberger, Burns.
Kristen Schreiber, James, and Montgomery County Prosecutor's Office.
Melissa Zalatsky, I'm with the prosecutor's office as well.
Kirby Downs, Hickory Street. Jason Oswald, Hickory Street.
Jane Mallon, Johnson Street.
Blake Witherington, Oak Street, where the new pastures, Everett City Movement Church. Thank you.
Becky Weatherington, Oak Street.
Visitor.
Hans, come on. He's a fantastic volunteer.
Margie Harrell from Oak Street.
Brian Robin, Bonner Street.
David Israeli, Bonner Street.
Pamela Harrington, Perrine.
Carolyn Mann, Adams Street.
Oh, Holly Flora, Park.
Rachel Booth, Park on my list.
We have the prosecutor's office here to give us a neighborhood safety update.
Yeah, I'm not sure, we weren't given any information that we were supposed to look into. I followed up with Linda today. I mean, if you guys have any questions about anything that's pending in your guys' area, please feel free to contact us, email, phone call, whatever you wish for contact information. Any cases you're interested in following in, we're happy to provide updates. We just didn't have any, knew that anything you're interested in knowing about? Sound good?
Yeah, quiet is good. So we
radar.
we appreciate your presence and staying on top of things for us. Our community resource officer that has been reassigned, so I'm waiting to find out who that is. And so I know both Jeff and I have reached out to our police district to try to get the updates and have officers present at our monthly meetings again as staffing allows. Right? Right. Very good. Let's jump right into approval of minutes from the February meeting. Those were posted?
Yes.
All right. Can I get moved to approve the minutes from the February meeting? Motion to do so?
Yes. Motion to do so.
Second?
Yes.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Hi.
All right, so adopted. Let's go to committee updates. Jeff with anti-crime?
Had some information on 3 houses in the neighborhood with some suspected drug activity. It was forwarded to Lieutenant Keller at East Patrol. He assigned it to the Community Action Response Team and also the narcotics unit. He usually gets back with me in 10 days or 2 weeks when he has something to report, and I have not heard back from him yet. So, other than that point?
Very good. Parks and Rec?
Yes, Parks and Rec is a TV show. Also a very
Johnny Parks.
hardworking
Now,
committee.
don't throw wreck on her.
Yeah, Parks is a hardworking committee, and I've always got lots of people to thank. This time, I'd like to thank Susan Vincent, who spent many hours writing a wonderful grant application to Montgomery County to ask for $1,600 for recycling and bench repair. And shout out to her. I think her deadline is coming up this week, so she might need a signature. So hopefully the board has seen her email and has read a copy of her application and is ready to sign it, so she can send it in, and maybe we can compete for some money. Secondly, Nick Vanderpool. Parks has targeted some trouble spots in the neighborhood for beautification and picking up of litter. And of course, Theobald Court is always hard pressed to keep up with the blowing litter and the open dumpsters from some of our business neighbors who don't close their dumpsters. And Nick called a committee together, cleaned up Theobald, asked for street sweeping, and it's never looked better. So we're going to try to keep up with that. It's going to be a challenge because, as you know, any of you who live along Theobald, you know, the extent of your property line that runs along that street is usually filled with garbage, and people also throw garbage over your fence and into your yard. So it's very challenging. So we're hoping to help our neighbors there this year and going forward. And also, you know, as usual, ask our business neighbors to be good neighbors and help us with that. Phyllis Tony, I want to shout out a thanks to her because, you know, the Parks team is planning to repair and paint and replace missing fencing to the fence around Blomwell Park. It's a steel fence, and to replace those 5-foot sections has become very expensive. It's like between $400 and $500 for just a 5 feet of steel hairpin fence. So Phyllis somehow or other found some salvage stuff from years ago because so much of this fence has been destroyed, hit by cars or stolen for many years, and we just haven't gotten around to fix it. So anyway, Phyllis discovered some fence and saved us a bunch of money, so that's great. And Hans, our visitor, is going to help us with working with the steel, bending it back, and preparing it for painting this summer. That's going to be a big initiative, and we're going to be asking for everybody's help with that. And lastly, a shout out of thanks to Courtney Colburn, whose specialty is knowing every family in the neighborhood and then getting everybody together to do an Earth Day cleanup. And this year she's going to add a little bit of recycling to the usual, you know, get your kids together to do some service for the neighborhood, clean up the neighborhood, have a free t-shirt, enjoy some pizza and some community camaraderie over, you know, doing good works for the neighborhood. So other than that, it's just Parks goes on as usual. We'll be attacking the garden spaces starting this week.
And if your business wants to be on the t-shirt, get in touch with me ASAP if you want to be a sponsor, because we're getting the art together now.
Very good, thank you. Marketing, communications, social media, whatever you want to call it.
We have, I think we've been busy on everything else, right, Jill?
Yeah,
We haven't had a chance to meet again.
we have good intentions.
Yeah. We did get the minutes posted on the site, and we're getting some things straightened out, but we haven't really gotten to where we need to get to.
Very good.
And I'm working on the Earth Day thing, so.
Are we, I was asked by someone that couldn't make it, are we going to be posting the minutes on the official HISB Facebook page? Or just the website?
We're posting them on the website, and then it tells the Facebook page that it's there
Okay.
automatically.
Also, membership, the membership form, there's issues with that.
We're gonna be
They're not able to get on and sign up through.
on the site? Okay. I'm about to rebuild all that, but I just haven't had a chance, so.
Okay, I've heard that from two, just passing it along.
I will get that fixed.
Okay.
Is it pays into PayPal, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay,
Very good, thanks, David.
sure.
We have a new social chair, Savannah Webb.
Oh, no.
So welcome, we're gonna put you on the spot. So one, first of all, thank you for stepping up and volunteering.
No one else would do it, so I'm here.
I relate to that.
Are you even old enough to buy the beer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Just checking.
I am old enough to buy beer.
Very good.
But I will do a plug for her. The new neighbor party is going to be April 11th at Brian Robbins' house there at 215 Bonner. If you are a new neighbor, please come. If you are an old neighbor, please come and drag your new neighbors with you. And bring food. And bring food. We'll supply the drinks. It's a great way to meet people and kind of start to get to know your neighbors.
What time?
7?
Yeah, sure.
It's a Thursday night.
That's-
Is that too early?
That's exactly what we've
Will you
been
be
planning
home yet?
this whole time.
Love it when plan comes together. All right, that leaves us with housing. So again, make sure you get, you know, spring is here. Lots of home renovation going on. Get your certificates of approval for any pending work that goes in before the start. Otherwise, lots of rehab going on, and the neighborhood continues to improve. To that end, many of you have seen that 815 Wayne Avenue, the former Daybreak facility, is up for auction. It's going to be sold April 20th, if not before. They are accepting offers. There are one, if not two, offers on the property. But as of now, it is set for auction on April 20th at noon. Anyone can bid on it. So the neighborhood is very interested with the future tenants of that property. We have identified and explored interested parties. We will continue to do so until it sells, and hopefully it goes to new neighbors that are willing to work with us, whatever it ultimately becomes. So all I have for housing. Reports from the board.
Pay your dues. I'm collecting.
Pay your dues so you can be a voting member. From you.
I have a couple of treasury reports.
Sure.
I wasn't able to be at February's meeting, so this is the January report. I'm just going to be very round numbers. The opening balance was $8,091. We had receipts from membership of $119. We had receipts from the Hot Toddy Party of $623. And we had a contribution in memory of Mike Goheen. I don't know if any of you remember Mike, Craig's. And that was made to the neighborhood. So the receipts were about $893, and we spent $158 on the Hot Toddy Party, leaving us a balance of $88.25. February was a little bit calmer. We had, the only income we had were $50 from membership, and the standing practice has always been that whatever we net from the Hot Toddy Party, we split with the church for hosting all the things that they host here throughout the year. So that was an additional $94 went to the church. And then there was a bill for hosting 2 years of the URL, I'm not a computer person, for $32. So the balance at the end of February was $8,749.
Very good. Thank you.
I got a question.
Jill?
This came up at a Parks meeting. Is there any more news on whether or not we will have a garden tour? In which case, Parks would need to gear up and.
I think the answer to that is no, because Chris Gang was the driving force behind the garden tour, and Chris Gang will not be here
This summer.
this summer.
Okay, thank you.
Last couple things I have is that the mural, the grant money for that, it's my understanding, has been approved, so the paperwork was finally submitted. City said everything that looked good, so it's been turned over to the finance department, so hopefully we will be seeing a check here soon. Other thing is that I noticed this past weekend that the Dayton Daily, the circulars were strewn about the neighborhood again, so I emailed the person in charge of that. They previously confirmed 2 weeks ago that they were going to be suspended, so I emailed them this week. I've not heard back. If I do not hear back by tomorrow, I will call them every day until we get that resolved. So hopefully it should take more than a couple weeks. I think we've given them adequate time to stop that. So hopefully this weekend we do not see those anymore. I don't believe there's any old business outstanding. I don't believe there's any new business, anything that would require a vote at this month's meeting. That leads us to any announcements or public comments. So we have a couple visitors here, so I was going to announce the meeting coming up, but since you're here, if you would, just go ahead and introduce yourself, and if you want to announce what you have going on end of the month, certainly feel free. We're going to put you on the spot as well.
That's okay. So like I said, my name's Blake, this is my wife Becky. We're the new pastors at City Movement over here on Oak Street. And we're having a vision meeting 2 p.m. Just wanted to do a South Park Vision meeting because we're really excited to be in this community, and we're wanting to cast our vision and what we hope to accomplish in the years, next months and years to come, and just look at some of the ways that you guys have had a good reputation in keeping a clean community and good neighbors, and just want to like I said, hear your thoughts and share our thoughts as well. But it's a Sunday, so
Good. Again, welcome to the neighborhood.
thank you.
Any other public comments from the gallery?
I just attended, was this what you were going to talk about? We just attended a meeting that City of Dayton is doing a series of community engagement meetings throughout the year. The one we just went to was on, historic ruling and rehabbing and everything. But I thought it might be interesting to someone in the neighborhood. Their next one is May 28th at 5:30 at the Haynes Children's Center on North Main. But it's about the liquor permitting process, which I know has been something that the neighborhood has dealt with off and on for 20-odd years with different businesses wanting to get liquor permits. So I will try to attend, but I thought if this is something else if anyone else has a unique interest in what happens when somebody wants to start selling liquor in the neighborhood, it's probably worth attending.
Can you give the date and place again?
May 28th at 5:30 at the Haynes Children's Center, which is at 3304 North Main.
To follow up on that, there is a police community engagement conference scheduled for May 4th at Belmont High School. That's 2615 Wayne Avenue, and that's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. You have to register to attend, and that has a lot of information as it relates to police and community involvement. So it looks like there's 8 classes, everything from drones and police work, information as it relates to concealed carry permits, drug addiction and issues regarding our community, community attitudes towards police, seminar over counterfeit money, what you as an individual can do to engage your community, and then a Crime Stoppers. You do have to register for that. To register, go to mvcpa.info. And again, yes. And again, that's Saturday, May 4th at Belmont High School from 9 to 2 p.m.
Are there going to be any Easter activities?
We would love to talk about that at our meeting on Sunday. I know I spoke with, I think it was Phyllis, and said that you all donated Easter eggs, and so you took that line out of your budget. But we would love to partner with you on that and talk more about that Sunday.
Very good. We'll follow up on that.
Okay, great.
I got a couple things, Mark.
We'll save you towards the end, David.
Okay.
Could you review the mural discussion, like what it is and where it's going?
Yeah, so the mural is completed at this point. So that was a mini grant that we signed up for.
I
Yes,
thought
so
another one
It's
was
the one
coming.
on Wayne Avenue.
Okay, I helped with that. I thought you meant another one was coming.
no, yeah, this is
It took us 2
it
years.
took a little time
It
to.
took 2 years.
Right. Not that we couldn't do that again, and that's something we may explore in the future. But yeah, this is to get reimbursed for that one.
Yep. I volunteered to take over with adult supervision the South Park Urban Garden area. So if anybody is interested, we are looking into if we're going to be in the same location this year or not, or if that's going to be built out to somewhere else and we're moving somewhere else. So if anyone is interested in perhaps gardening this year, feel free to get in touch. Our Facebook page is kind of ramping back up, but we should be probably getting in touch with marketing to get ourselves out and about. But just want to make you aware that that's going to totally be a thing.
Awesome, very good, thank you.
I put out on Facebook today that I'm putting together the invite list for the new neighbor party, and I'm able to find people that have purchased homes in the neighborhood, but what I can't find are new tenants. So if you know anyone in the neighborhood or a landlord in the neighborhood and they have a tenant who's moved in since like April of last year, have them let me know and I'll add them to the list. We had, I think I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 25 people that have purchased homes to live in, not to rehab, not to have as rentals, but to buy and to make their home in the last year, which is so
That's a big
cool.
party.
Awesome.
You guys gonna be ready?
Announcements from anyone else? Questions, concerns?
I just want to acknowledge a really cool post that Jill sent out this morning, about borrowing a cup of sugar from your neighbor. If you haven't seen it, you need to go read it because it was fabulous. And thank you, Jill.
Where was that posted?
South Park discussion. If you're not on it, come talk to me, I'll get you in.
There's several sites now.
Yeah. There's something you're not sure about,
David.
I got a couple things. Number one, last Thursday I went to the most interesting meeting I've been at, public meeting in a long time, where the county auditor sat and had every single municipality, township in the county come in and make a report about tax abatements, TIFs, JEDs, and everything else. I've never seen this. It's apparently required by state law. Had everybody, except for the city of Dayton, which they had done a couple weeks before, which was the one I was most interested in, because the city of Dayton used to have so many, they did it as a separate setting. But I will have that video up online. But I tried to ask the auditor to explain the Austin Landing dual tax schedule, where only the people who work in retail or in buildings with one floor pay an income tax, and the people in the tall buildings who have white collar jobs don't, and he couldn't explain it either. And I still think it's one of the most fascinating things in our county, and I don't know how they get away with it, but they do, because technically you cannot charge an income tax in a township, but that's what happens at Austin Landing. So that was really fascinating, and I will have the video up here relatively soon. Second thing, I'd really like to thank everybody who signed my petitions, and then everybody who signed my affidavits to fix their signatures on the petitions, and I'm on the ballot for city commission. It was like watching 3 people's puppy die when they had to admit that they had to put me on the petition, on the ballot. And third, I still haven't figured out exactly who bought it and what the details are, but Patterson Kennedy's site on Wyoming was bought, and it was not.
So I can shed some light on.
It was
that.
not bought by Miami Valley or UD.
So it was bought by a developer out of Columbus.
Right.
Purchase price was 1.7, 1.8 million, somewhere in that range. It's my understanding that they intend to build new housing there. That is going to be aimed towards grad students and persons that work at Miami Valley.
Which means that it will not be tax abated like everything else that's been done from what I've heard. But I think we should really get in touch with them early to see what kind of housing they're going to build, and that it, sort of matches up with the neighborhood.
So we continue to have good discussions with the various players and actors downtown as it relates to all the development going on. So the city is well aware of HISP as well as the neighbors here and how vested we are in our community. So that's part of the reason you're seeing so much progress in individual homes as well as people that are moving into the neighborhood. So a very desirable area. All the main players are very interested in what is happening with South Park. So I think that speaks to everyone here being engaged and helping to make our neighborhood better. So thank you. And the other thing that does is the folks downtown, for the most part, are being very receptive to where we want the neighborhood to go.
I forgot one other thing. A couple years ago, for a couple years, I did soccer on Sunday mornings with kids and adults who wanted to play. And most we had was about 10 kids show up. I want to know if anybody's got any interest in starting it back up, because I can't make it every Sunday. But I've got all these soccer balls, we've got cones for drills, we've got a net to put up, etc. We were doing it down in Burns Jackson Park. So if anybody's better at soccer, wants to play soccer, wants to get together and kick the ball around on Sunday mornings, I will get posters together, I will get them posted, I've got all the stuff, I've even got pennies to wear so that you can tell which team's which. But I'd like to know if there's any new people here or anybody else who might be interested, so contact me if you're interested. Thanks.
Any other questions, comments, concerns before we wrap it up?
Okay, I have two other things. So if you have not heard, there are some neighbors who have come up with a brilliant idea of doing like a bar takeover. Some of them are here. I figured I'd share the date. The next one's going to be April 4th. It's a Thursday night. They're planning on taking over Mudlick Tap House. If you're not familiar, it's on East 2nd Street.
They have incredible desserts.
Food's good. It's from 7 to 10. And then the other thing is, every year in the spring, as you start to get your flowers together and your garden's going, we do a perennial exchange. Betsy Wilson usually heads it up. And it is going to be April 13th at 10 a.m. Split whatever you need to split, bring it. If you don't have anything, come and take some from you, or from there to get yourself started. So those are two last things.
Very good. With that said, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you.